Kristina, thank you so much for
Uh,
joining us. I so appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You are a superstar in our world, which is why we wanted to spend a little bit of time with you because you are such an inspiration. You're an inspiration to us. You're an inspiration to the community. You're an inspiration to the people that you serve and take care of. And the work you do in the world is so important. And I want to share the example of what you do as a catalyst, as an inspiration for other people. So if I were to meet you for the first time and ask you, so Kristina, what do you do? What would you tell me?
Well, now I would tell you I'm a retired dental hygienist and pursuing the dream of owning a business where I host really cool running events in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. And I coach athletes, and my specialty is actually older athletes. And I also do guided running tours in the White Mountains to give people an experience that they may not have an opportunity to otherwise.
All right. So all this mountains and running stuff. I hear that you've created work around it. Have you were a runner and an adventurer though for quite some time, as I recall.
Yeah, so definitely have a very long history of athletics from mountain biking to high altitude mountaineering, and then just kind of found a passion for trail running. Spent some time in the elite world and had some emotional struggles and some mental trauma from that, and became passionate on trying to figure out how to help people feel better, not work with traditional coaches, which basically run you into the ground, break you, damage your self esteem. But I want to bring people up and give people confidence and train them in a very healthy way. So that is one of my big passions. And the other thing is giving people experiences. I love event planning, and to throw a huge party while giving people a day of running is, if nothing makes me happier.
That is so cool. And the happiness shows. And I know this wasn't always your work. It's always been part of your life, but you had a work incarnation before this work you're doing now. What was that? You said dental hygienist.
Yeah, I was in the dental field for over 27 years, and majority of that has been spent doing dental hygiene, which is a really fun job. But since COVID, it really hit me hard because patients came in screaming at us. Everybody was grumpy. The workplace became very toxic and not enjoyable anymore. And I had to take a step back. And that's when I reached out to you guys because I wanted to grow the business, but I have absolutely no experience in anything business. And after having that first conversation with you guys, I almost choked when you told me how much it costs to be in the program because I really didn't have a lot of money to spend, and the business was already in the hole, but something felt right. And I slept on it because I don't like to make decisions the same day because you're like wicked excited and in the moment. And something about it just felt right. So I did what I could to find the money. You guys had a payment plan, which helped me out a ton, and I just couldn't wait to start. So I started as soon as I could. And from the very first lesson, I just wanted to get through the program as fast as I could because it was so well done and so interesting. And the group that you guys put together, I love the office hours. Summertime, it was tough for me because that was usually a day I was guiding, but that also meant I had business. So, and I love your Facebook group, and I don't always post, but I read everything that you guys post. So I felt so much support, and I listen to all of you because you have a lot more experience than I do.
So thank you for that, all of that. And now tell me what your life and your business look like in this moment.
Thankfully, because I was in a huge hole last year, so I can't say I'm like in an awesome place, but I've got myself out of the debt, and we're actually start next year looks like the business is going to have a profit. And strangely, over the last couple months, I went from just having a few clients pretty much all year to I'm getting regular conversations with people, and they're funny because they're like, yeah, maybe in a couple weeks I'll start with you. And literally the next day they send their payment. When can we get started? And I've
That's so good.
trained this one woman. She's in her 50s and she finished this 50-mile race that we hosted this year and she won it. And this woman went from like not really being much of an athlete to I am so proud and impressed by what she's doing. And she follows the training beautifully. And all my training has like the life coaching too. So she's like worked through all her emotional struggles and she's excelling. So she has become this woman that everyone's following now on social media. All she does is talk about how much she loves me. And I have this like older group of people in their 50s and 60s that want me to coach them now because they want to be Marilyn. So she was my first client, by the way. And we are working to get her through a very hard 100-miler next year. And she's totally she'll get it done.
That is so, so cool. So back up with me just a minute. So you're in the middle of COVID and life is becoming more and more intolerable. Was there a decision point, an inflection point, or was it just this slow awareness? Something caused you to say, I've got to make that next step.
I started getting really upset in life because I had gone through a lot of trauma and then went through the self-discovery and found myself like in a really good place, but it just wasn't meshing with my life anymore because I woke up, I'd go to work, I'd be miserable, and I'd come home miserable. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. There has to be another way for me to somehow pay the bills. And does that mean really sacrificing a lot in my life and being pretty broke for a while? It does. But I also have this like dream of being a successful business owner. I mean, my long-term goal is to grow this business and sell it. And I want to just only pursue the coaching and or just hire people to host the races. So that's definitely my plan. And the longer I, work with you guys, the more I see myself doing that. But I had no vision of where this was going or what it was until I started working with you.
And how is life? How is your day-to-day life right now?
It's fabulous. I chat with patients and I mean not patient, well, they're not patients anymore. I chat with my clients in the morning. We go over their training plan and then in the afternoon. So I try to give myself a gap during the day and hosting races as well as a year round. There's so much behind the scenes work. And I think I was struggling a lot with, doing full-time hygiene. And then I'm dealing with permitting stuff and all the back end work and, work insurance and vendors and trying to answer runners' questions. So, my day it's very flexible, which is really cool. And I like that. And if I want to work at 7 o'clock at night, I work at 7 o'clock at night. Um, and it looks like we're probably going to be spending the winters in Arizona now. And unfortunately, my partner's been very supportive and helpful in many ways, including financially, with helping me with this dream. And we love the East Coast hours on West Coast time. It's pretty sweet. So yeah, my day's just doing like random things. And then with the running tours, it's mostly just like, okay, finding guides, scheduling tours. And right now I have to do most of the guiding, but as we grow, we have guides on deck and it'll be nice to hand that off to other people too. One of the lessons in your class was, kind of like the McDonald's thing, have your system, build it, have someone else do it for you.
Amen. Got the gateway to freedom. Systems.
Yes.
So if you were writing a note now to your younger self, even 2.5 years ago, what would you tell your younger self 2.5 years ago?
I'm not even the same person I was 2.5 years ago. I guess just don't be afraid to follow your dreams. Take a chance and just find that courage. And if something feels right, go with it. And if it doesn't feel right, don't go with it.
I love that. And I so love and appreciate you. And I appreciate your time sharing your story with us.
Yeah.
It is. You are an inspiration to so many people in the world, and I honor you and thank you for being part of our community and the work you do.
Yeah, it's your program is hands down the best thing that has happened to me because it's just I've grown a lot as a person and I understand business and I understand marketing and I just have so much confidence and I'm enthusiastic and the networking I've done. I'm actually working with a few of the other people in the group to do some cool things. Tom Garcia and I are working on a wicked cool retreat that might happen out here in Arizona next year. So it's like, I think I learned a lot about networking and the importance of working with other people to even other people that are in the industry to refer to other coaches. And you guys, it's a great program.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kristina. Thank you for being with us
Thank you.
today.
Thanks for taking me on.